Well, welcome back. I'm Frederica Whitfield. Iranian Americans are watching events unfold in Tehran with apprehension. One is youth activist Pantea Beigi in Los Angeles joining us. Good to see you, Pantea. With apprehension, what are you most concerned about as you continue to watch the developments overseas?
Good to be here. I think the main concern here is the people's safety. I think they are being incredibly brave, putting their lives on the line to hope, that they can create some great change. And I think the biggest concern for all of us from outside is their safety. We do not want bloodshed, and that's what we're most concerned about.
Even though it appears as though a change is not coming in the form of the government, since the Ayatollah and others are resisting recount or revote, etc., really by osmosis, as a result of all these protests taking place, has there been change in Iran, in your view?
I think this stands for incredible change. You have to realize that this is 30 years in the coming, and it is not really only about this election. Mousavi serves as somewhat of a symbolic figure, but this really is about the threshold that the young people of Iran and the people of Iran have finally come to. And I think it just so happens that it's about this election. It happened over this election. But it's really something that's been in the working. It's been coming very slow. And they've really paid big prices for it in the past 30 years. They've had many deaths. They've had many arrests. And so I think that it's already standing for incredible change by incredible bravery, that all of these people are taking upon themselves to go out there and do this. So I think even if we don't see very visible change within the channels of the current government, there is no way that someone could stand and watch this and say that there's been no change created, at least in the way in which the people are going to take the affairs of their country from now on, because they're showing that the old ways are no longer going to happen. They're not going to sit by and watch injustices happen to their people or their rights taken away. I don't think they're necessarily trying to have a big revolution or a big overthrow of their government, but they're simply saying, hey, you've put these limitations on us for the past 30 years. We've been, cooperating, but at least give me my vote. Give me the right that you promised me, on Friday. And I think this is a great start for them to really utilize the legal channels of their own regime right now to do this, which is huge.
Do you feel any concern that this momentum, it may backfire when you hear, at least according to our reporting and the translations of what some of the protesters are yelling in the streets today, death to the dictator, death to deceptive government, that might help precipitate more violence or reverse any kind of progress that some of the protesters feel that they are bringing to this country?
There's great concern for their safety right now, especially after Khamenei's address yesterday, and now the reaction of the protesters to him today, and essentially saying, down with our supreme leader. So there's great risk there. They've never done this before. So we're definitely concerned. I know that Dr. Shireen Ebadi has been in Geneva and in Hague in the past 3 days. She's been meeting with UN Human Rights High Commissioner, Madame Pillay, and they're working on resolutions. They're doing calls to action. She's worked with Nobel Women's Initiative, which comprised of 6 Nobel Women Peace Laureates that are all working very hard with the international community to ensure the security of the protesters that are out there, because I really do think that if they do not if they do continue going the way they are, yes, there is great fear that there will be bloodshed, that the government will be reacting extremely harsh and violent in order to control the situation. I also think that if the protests don't stop, there is a great chance that the government will issue arrest warrants for Mousavi himself, for Hashemi Afsanjani, for Khatami. That is also very possible, because I think when it's really hard to control a mass of 1 million people, particularly most of them young people, it's much easier to issue arrest warrants for the so-called leaders that are causing for these protests to happen, in hopes that the people might get scared and return home. But like I said, I really don't think this is wholly about Mousavi himself. I think this is about a freedom movement that's been very slow in the coming and happening by the people for the people.
Iranian-American youth activist Pantea Beigi, thanks so much for joining us from Los Angeles. All right, Iran's supreme leader promised to crack down on protesters. That was yesterday, exactly what we were talking about, and it's exactly what's happening right now. But people are still taking to the streets in defiance. Much more straight ahead.